Hi everyone, it's Evangeline right here at etrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at a pretty interesting bike rack. This is going to be the Go Aero Jack-It PLUS. It is a 2-bike rack that secures to your jack on your A-frame trailers. We're going to take a look at some of its different features. I'll show you how it got installed, and I have some pretty good tips and tricks to how to get your bikes on there, and we'll see that here at etrailer.com. This can carry up to 2 bikes that are up to 40 pounds each. It's technically a wheel-mounted rack where it secures your bikes by the front and the rear wheels with a unique cradle design, and we'll talk about that later on in this video. The main thing though is that this is designed to go over the jack on your A-frame trailers. Now make sure that your jack is at least an electric jack with controls that won't be hindered by the frame of the rack, and it sits no more than 22.5 inches. The jack we have here sits at 21.5 inches, so we still have a good amount of space around it while still having the rack on the trailer. So not only do you have to measure for height, but also measure for width. So if your jack is wider than 7.25 inches, it won't fit between the frame. This fits over the standard 3-bolt pattern on your A-frame couplers, and this will include new hardware. So this fits underneath your jack's bracket, and then your new hardware will be longer to accommodate for both your jack as well as your new frame. If you do have a tank on your trailer, or maybe you have an SUV or different towing vehicle options, you also have 2 options for the bracket that secures your rack. So you have the angled bracket, which is what I prefer since this gives me more space and clearance to load the bikes, but you also have a straight up and down shank, and that will mean that your bikes sit right above your jack, no further forward or backward. This angled bracket will sit 10 inches out, and that's a measurement I take from the center of the jack to the center of the hitch pin on the rack. So if you need more clearance on your trailer side, you can flip it this way towards your vehicle. If you need more clearance on your vehicle side, you can flip it over towards your trailer. The position over here by the trailer, I just don't recommend as often because it makes it trickier to get your closest bike loaded. Plus, if you have long handlebars, you may come in contact with your camper. Either bracket will secure with an anti-rattle bolt up front. This utilizes a 3/4 inch wrench to tighten down. And that bolt is secured in the back by this hitch clip. Now, because of how this rack is designed, I personally don't think it needs a lock, but if you do choose to have extra security, I recommend a cable lock. That way you can also secure your bikes as well as your rack. This is going to be an affordable and out-of-the-way option for carrying your bikes. Since it does secure above your jack, it's exposed to the elements, it's moving around even if you have everything tightened down. I don't recommend this for your fancier, more expensive, or heavier bikes, but for your standard road bikes and mountain bikes, this might be the option you go to if you can't put your bikes on your roof, in your truck bed, or in your camper hitch. With that in mind, you do have, again, that maximum weight capacity of 40 pounds, maximum tire width of 2.75 inches. And if you are planning on carrying those kids' bikes, just note that you need at least 22-inch large wheels to fit on this rack. There is another perk to having this unique design where it sits above your jack, and that is if your trailer is hooked up to your truck, you're driving around, you will be able to see your bikes through your rear view mirror. And if it was sitting behind your camper, like a lot of people do, that's not an option for you. Now, I did mention it is a wheel-mounted rack. However, there is still high potential for frame contact. You do have these rubber pads that will help cushion that contact, but over time, because of the movement of the rack, there may be scuffs and scratches on your forks and on your frames that you do have to keep an eye out for. But there are some adjustments that you can do to make sure that you best use this rack and minimize those scuffs and scratches and touch points. So loading the bikes up onto this rack may be a bit of a hassle, but I have some fun tips and tricks to help you out with that. Let's go. The important thing is to adjust it while it's on the ground, because once it's up on your A-frame, it's going to be a lot harder to adjust it in the air, especially since this design makes it very tall. So I'll show you how I do it. And now that I know exactly where I need to put it, I'm going to first focus on getting the front wheel in place, and then I know I have to dodge around the handlebar on the other bike, so I'm holding on to the back as I get that back wheel in place. Now just make my adjustments, like moving pedals so they're not clashing, and making sure that the cradles aren't pushed up against any spokes. Now for tightening down the straps, I really can't reach that one from the ground, so I grabbed the ladder for that. And what we're gonna do here is bring the straps over the wheel and into the cradle for our top cradles. And then for our bottom cradles, we go over the rim and then onto the cradle. The most important thing is getting your front wheels having at least those 2 points of contact. Hold these as tight as you can get them, because that will give you the best support. So this process is usually a little tricky even on a vehicle, so having this rack all the way up above your A-frame jack makes it a lot more tricky. So hopefully this install process helped with some tips and tricks that I've learned. It also helped that my bikes are on the lighter side, so even though I am a shorter person, it's still achievable with the help of a ladder for some of it. So keep that in mind with your heavier bikes as well as your different configurations on your trailer. When carrying bikes while you have your full towing setup, usually you have other options. You can put it on your roof, in your bed, on your hitch, or on the hitch of your camper. But when those options aren't an option for you, having that extra ability to potentially put it over your A-frame jack is a very interesting and unique solution. Hopefully this video helped explain if that is the right solution for you. But even within that, there are some other options from Let's Go Aero. For the Jack-It, it is available as the Plus, which is what we have here, as the Twin Spin, or as the Pro. The Twin Spin rotates to make it a bit easier to load and unload those bikes. The Pro has 3 slots on its jack frame, which gives you the opportunity to carry other Let's Go Aero accessories. The Plus is going to be your most straightforward and simple option, which also means it comes at a slightly more affordable price. So if you don't need the extra ease of using the Twin Spin, you know exactly where your bikes go, and they're not that difficult to load, then this is going to be a great solution for you. If you want a little extra, definitely check out that Twin Spin option, also available here at etrailer.com. But if you want any more information about those racks or about this one, we have a lot more information like descriptive details or really cool pictures and videos that you can check out here on our website. But today what we saw was the Let's Go Aero Jack-It Plus A-frame bike rack for 2 bikes at eTrailer.